You're not a true fan if you like Deus Ex Invisible War. You're not a true fan if you like Metroid Other M. And you're especially not a true fan if you even think about liking Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, the 6th generation remake to the utterly flawless perfection that is Metal Gear Solid.
Hey, hello everyone, I am Alec Alger, the SideQuest Gamer, and one of the things I've always been sick of hearing is the ultimate comment section cancerous no true Scotsman fallacy, that is the you're not a true fan point that they bring up. I find this mentality so elitist and pretentious because who is anyone else to decide that they themselves are in fact the true fan of this franchise and that anyone else not aligned with their preferences is the false fan? For one, a fan is simply someone who enjoys something like a book, TV show, movie, toy line, heck any franchise or item in general. There's no rules to how you like it, so already this true fan mentality is the oxymoron of the century. Now, they could be a fan of something for how they deem it as well made from a critical standpoint, or support it regardless of their own quality standards just because it is that brand, kind of like how some Xbox One aficionados, and a few vocal ones more specifically, will tell you it's better than PC gaming, even to the point where they'll debate the specs are better than a maxed out PC, which is a rather short debate, but forget about that. You can be a fan in the positive, more critical light, or be like the one who will defend your brand like it's a member of your family, or heck, somewhere in the middle. Both sides like their particular brand or product, that's what they all have in common. And a game like Metal Gear Solid is one of those examples of how fans really love it to the point where anything that's different might not be agreeable with them. Metal Gear Solid had a suspenseful atmosphere keeping the player in a constantly vulnerable position on a daring stealth rescue mission in sub-zero conditions, accompanied by a pretty well-written story. Well, minus the Metal Gear 2 retcon because Big Boss never said he was Solid Snake's father in that game. Don't know why they did that, but whatever. Metal Gear Solid is still mostly a well-written story. But when a remake for the GameCube came out, it was well received by critics, but some of the fans of the original would just not have it. They claimed the limitations of the overhead combat in the original worked for it, and how first-person aiming in the remake utterly ruined some of the boss battles. How the cutscenes are way too, how do I put it, Matrixy, and therefore horrible recreations of the original scenes. I mean, I personally agree with this, but Metal Gear Solid 2, and especially the fan-favorite Metal Gear Solid 3, had instances of these Matrix-type cutscenes, so why is it wrong in Twin Snakes but perfectly fine in those other games? Now, I don't mind fans not liking Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, but I hate it when the vocal minority type on their Cheeto-stained keyboards about how I'm apparently not a true fan of Metal Gear Solid if I even like a supposedly dumbed-down MGS1 experience in Twin Snakes. To those, I say to go an electronic pencil sharpener. Twin Snakes, in my point of view, as a standalone product is a well-made game, and there are mechanical improvements like the no backtracking temperature keycards near the end of the game, the first-person aiming and improved AI, and the voice actors actually sound better, given it's on more powerful hardware, but they sound better regardless. Do I like the original Metal Gear Solid more? Yes, I do think it's better with a suspenseful atmosphere and cutscenes that were more grounded in reality, well, debatably, and am willing to deal with a more limited but still solid gameplay in exchange for the better experience, but I still really like Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, and if I had to make a top 10 best GameCube games, it wouldn't be on the top 10, but at least in my honorable mentions. There's a lot of good GameCube games, so that in itself is an honor. So really, I'm a true fan because I like Metal Gear Solid. No one else gets to decide what I should like, because the fact I like it at all is perfectly harmless. I'm not going to force you to like something you genuinely don't like, because I'm not an elitist snob. Because preferences are subjective by nature. How can I like something the right or wrong way when there is no objective way to prefer something that is scientifically constructed and not sociologically? Am I not a true fan of chocolate for preferring milk chocolate over dark chocolate? Absolutely not. I'm just a guy who likes one thing over another. Simple as that. Please, hate Twin Snakes for all it's worth if you genuinely dislike it that much. I don't mind that. But if you belittle me over liking a piece of entertaining data that you don't like, then you're spiritually weak and in desperate need of professional help. And no, I don't mean this as a cheap anecdotal conclusion. If you are that protective of a piece of data that can't love back despite you giving it more love than you would your own mother, then yes, I think you really should consult a psychiatrist. And yes, I mean psychiatrist and not a psychologist, because this mental illness may require a medical prescription of antidepressants after they find out what went wrong in your childhood. I'm done with this toxic true fan mentality, and it should be dealt with zero tolerance. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember to stay awesome.